and welcome to Cathedral City, California for FloSoftball's broadcast of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. I'm Wes Williams alongside former two-time Olympian Lovey Jung. This morning we have an exciting matchup, probably the one we've circled and are most excited about. The number one ranked UCLA Bruins are taking on the 2020 Olympic team.
You don't have to be a USA fan or a Bruin fan, but if you are a softball fan, this is the game of the year, and everybody is in here, standing room only, packed to watch this game.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights last night, and you take a look at Megan Framo. Overall, that day, she pitched in 2 games, 26 strikeouts. And, of course, the Mom Bomb. Good job by Perez. Walks it off against Wisconsin. Very close game in that one. It went extra innings.
And right here, Valerie Arioto starts off USA Softball with a 4-run home run to get them on the board early in the game. And Edwards as well coming off. She does a great job behind the plate as a catcher, but she's also very scary as a hitter up to the plate. And the 3rd home run by Carta to bring in 3 more runs for USA Softball against UC San Diego.
And I think one of the more exciting things is that Team USA has a number of Bruins on their team.
They do. They have a couple of Bruins on their team, 2 of them who had to redshirt this year, with Rachel Garcia, the pitcher for the national championship UCLA team, as well as Bubba Nichols, who plays in a multitude of positions. She can play outfield, middle infield, as well as third base for USA Softball. And then you have Ali Carta, who is one of the pitchers for USA.
Well, we've got an exciting one up next. We hope you'll stay tuned for this one. We've got UCLA, the number 1 team in the nation, taking on Team USA. Welcome back to FloSoftball's coverage of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic, and we have a huge crowd on hand. I heard a gentleman earlier say, I got here an hour and a half early today, and that person couldn't find a seat.
It is packed out here, and everyone is so excited for this game. USA Softball, legends in the making right here on their Stand Beside Me tour en route to Tokyo for the 2020 games.
I would estimate there's probably over 1,000 people in the crowd, shoulder to shoulder, a couple people deep. We even see fans up on a hill way back about 300 feet away down the left field line with their umbrellas and their chairs. They're excited to see this one, and I am too.
I just cannot wait for this game. It's an electrifying UCLA team, 1 through 9 of the lineup against the national team.
So Framo is in the circle for UCLA. She threw a number of innings yesterday. Extremely successful, and she already is ahead of the count, 0-1. And the top of the lineup has been extremely successful for Team USA.
1 through 9 of this lineup is electrifying. You have McClenny with some speed, and then you have Stewart, who is just so smart as a hitter and as a base runner.
That ball is hit deep into left center field. Tracking it down is Gooden, and she drops the ball, throw into second base, not in time. I thought she was underneath it, but it looked like it fell to the ground. Let's take a look at that one.
And I think right here where Gooden was positioned, she was a little bit in as a left fielder, and that ball just carries, underestimating McClinney's power at the top of the order.
So tough ball for her, and Faremo has allowed the first runner to get to second base. Stewart squares to bunt, takes it back. A little bit outside it looked like for a ball. Stewart, an excellent hitter, and we saw that yesterday in their victory against Utah. Takes a strike, 1-1. So we're just underway, top of the first inning. Team USA against the #1 ranked UCLA Bruins. UCLA comes into this one 15-0 on the season. Had a couple extra inning games yesterday, but was dominant in their first game today. Stewart takes another strike. 1-2. And you can expect Faremo to get ahead of the count, something she's been very successful at, and then she has all sorts of options once she's ahead. Foul back.
And Faremo yesterday, so dominating in the circle for UCLA with that rise ball and that curveball to get ahead in the count. And then every once in a while, sprinkling that changeup in there to keep all of the hitters honest in those batter's box.
Fly ball, this might be playable. Perez and Gooden going after it. Gooden makes the catch against that fence, and we have one down. You know, that fence down the left field line is awfully close, so it can be dangerous. Gooden does a good job, hand out, trying to find the fence, and makes that play.
And that's a tough play, going really hard towards the ball, trying to get there, and then also in the back of your mind, you know that that fence is getting really, really close.
Aguilar steps in for Team USA, and we've already seen her go deep. Earlier, I believe it was against New Mexico. Team USA has played New Mexico, the University of San Diego, and Utah.
And Allie comes to us from the University of Washington, where they are known for their defense and their speed in the lineup. And Allie is so fun to watch at shortstop. She makes the plays, and she can also make the really, really difficult plays look easy.
Faremo taking a look at the dugout. Takes a look at her wrist. And the pitch. Swung on a miss. Good rise ball. So Faremo is probably the best pitcher that Team USA has seen so far in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. And Faremo might be the best pitcher in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. There were a lot of good ones, but I don't know how many can say that they have 26 strikeouts in one day.
And she came in against Wisconsin when they were behind in the game and was able to hold Wisconsin, but so successful there, where she had 16 strikeouts, her new career high in the game.
Laced into right field. That's going to be a base hit. Around third comes the first run of the game. McClinney scores. Aguilar has an RBI single, and Team USA goes up 1-0.
And right here, Allie just stays with that pitch. So strong, that pitch is on the outer half of the plate, but she's able to drive it to right center field for her first RBI of the game.
You know, we always talk about the UCLA speed. Team USA is fast, to say the least.
And they're fast 1 through 9. It's not just the top of the order or the bottom of the order. 1 through 9, they are quick and they are fast.
Arioto, steps in. The first baseman takes a strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Yet another player in Team USA's lineup that we've seen go deep. Faremo into her wind in the pitch. Another strike, 0-2. Arioto playing first base for Team USA. Right-handed hitter. Her back foot is almost at the edge of the box. Just outside for a ball.
And a little difference between international ball and college ball. You see Arioto, she's keeping a foot in contact with the batter's box, and that is a rule in international ball to keep the game moving. And there is also a timed clock of 30 seconds for the pitcher to release the ball after she catches it.
Strike 3 called. Arioto certainly disagrees with that call. Let's take a look at this one.
That is just too close to take. It's on the black. It is a pitcher's pitch, but when you're 0-2 in the count, that is something you have to fight off if it's not your pitch.
I mentioned framing a number of times, and that looks like Garcia framed that pitch, but it was a good one, nibbling at the outside corners. And Framo starts Nichols with a ball. And Nichols has to be excited about this one, getting to play against a number of her former teammates. Down low for a ball, 2-0.
And Bubba has played with Framo for the last couple of years with UCLA, so she knows Framo. She knows what she throws, and she knows what her strengths are. So this is probably going to be a good matchup between Bubba Nichols and Framo right here.
Does UCLA do a lot of inter-squad scrimmages? Do you think they do?
I would assume they do. The UCLA coaching staff is amazing. They're going to do everything they can to put their girls in a position to win at the end of the day. And if that happens to be scrimmaging, that happens to be scrimmaging.
Bubba Nichols flies out to right field. Over there is Prober, the senior, to make the catch, and that'll do it for Team USA. But they plate 1 run, and heading into the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Team USA. Welcome back to beautiful Cathedral City, California. Almost 80 degrees here in the desert in the Coachella Valley. And we have a former Bruin in the circle.
And this is awesome right here. Allie Carta gets to throw against her former team, the UCLA Bruins.
So Carta coming into the tournament as a 2.03 ERA. She has 14 strikeouts, 4 walks. Team USA already on the board in that top of the first inning. 1-0 is your score, and speed, speed, speed at the top of the lineup. Washington steps in. And Washington coming into this one, batting .360. Takes a strike, 0-1.
And Allie Carter's last year with UCLA was in 2015. So for the last 4 or 5 years, she has been able to stay on track, get her workouts in, and then compete for USA national softball team.
Washington puts it in play. This is going to be a tough one. Nichols across the diamond, not in time. So we always say speed, 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 and Washington beats this one out.
And there's that speed right there. You have to come get that on the run. You have no other option, especially when Washington is running down the first baseline.
That'll bring up Perez. Yet another speedster. I always enjoy Washington on the base paths, trying to dare teams to get her in that pickle, and then the runner from third base comes around to score. I have a feeling Team USA is not going to fall for that one. So Perez, she's batting .435, 15 RBI on the season. That's third on the team. Did she go around? They appeal and they say no. So 1-1 is your count. Or excuse me, 2-0 is your count.
And Carter, her last 2 years at UCLA, dominated in the circle, back-to-back Pac-12 Player of the Year, 2014 and then in 2015 to end her senior campaign.
UCLA has had such a strong program over the years. Last year, of course, winning the national title. Takes a strike, 3-1.
And I'm honestly looking forward to the next matchup, Delia Jordan and Allie Carter, because you have a power hitter against a power throwing Allie Carter. She throws hard, and Aaliyah will do an amazing job of staying back on that pitch and being able to drive it.
Into her wind and the pitch. Laser into left center field. That's going to split the gap. Washington around third. She's going to try and score, and she'll do it. Bruins tie it up 1-1 on Perez's double.
And this is what everyone is here for right now. The Bruins are electrifying 1 through 9. They all work so hard. They don't give up on their at-bats. And with the speedy Washington, she scores from first base.
And here comes the matchup that you're looking forward to. With a runner on scoring position, I mean, obviously this is Team USA, so I'm sure they don't pitch around people like some teams would pitch around Aaliyah Jordan. But there is first base open.
For the fans' sake, I hope she goes right after Aaliyah Jordan.
Ball in the
Everybody
dirt.
wants to see this matchup.
And Jordan leads the team with a .553 batting average. 9 doubles, leads the team also in RBI with 19. Carta into her wind and the pitch. A little bit outside for a ball, so Jordan is ahead in the count. The Bruins so far this season, 8-0 on neutral sites at home. They're 6-0. There's a delayed strike call.
For how big of a hitter Aaliyah Jordan is, I just love her patience at the plate. She doesn't jump for balls. She lets the ball travel deep into the count and deep into the zone.
Crushed into right field, but right at the right fielder. Moultrie gets the ball in quickly, and Perez has to go back to second base. So she barreled that ball, but right at Moultrie.
And that is a quality at bat right there by Aaliyah Jordan.
So the freshman versus the veteran. This is an interesting matchup. Brady had herself a great first game against Auburn. Takes up high, ball gets away. Perez down to third, there's nobody there. So Perez moves over to third base on the wild pitch. I think that'll actually go down as a pass ball. It did hit the mitt. So Maya Brady, this is good experience as they get closer to the Pac-12 schedule, facing so many good arms, whether it be at Arizona or facing the Washington Huskies fleet of arms. She crushes the ball into left field and it's gone! Home run, Maya Brady, and UCLA goes up 3-1.
And this is what we're talking about right here. The freshman coming up huge for UCLA. Have a day, Maya.
Outside pitch, she took it the other way and just wrapped it around the foul pole. She's going to remember that one for the rest of her life. So the crowd is pro UCLA. We just heard an 8 clap from this very boisterous club. Really exciting so far. 3-1 is your score. There's still only 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. Look at that crowd, lots of powder blue. Kind of interesting, it seems kind of anti-patriotic to root against Team USA, but at the same time, if you're a UCLA fan.
And you know what's tough right here too is the parents for Ali Carta and Bubba Nichols, as well as Rachel Garcia. They're UCLA fans by heart, but their daughters are playing on the USA team.
So the first baseman, Wiz, steps in. Part of that incredibly talented junior class, along with Washington, Perez, and Jordan, who are at the top of the lineup. Takes inside for a ball, 2-1. So look at that UCLA bench. So many talented players. And they're excited, up clapping. Such a good opportunity. 3-1 now. Carta in danger of putting another runner on.
And I love how they didn't get down on themselves after USA scored in the top of the inning. They came back, and they've been doing that this entire tournament. They've been down a few games, have come back to tie it, and then take the lead in extra innings. And right here, that walk, just missing on the outside corner of the plate, but great frame job right there by Mulipola, unable to get the ball called for a strike.
I'll bring up the left-hander Garcia. The freshman is catching today. Takes high for a ball. Garcia batting .387 on the season. 4 doubles, 5 RBI. And that's going to bring a visit to the circle. So where does a team like UCLA, the #1 ranked college team in the nation, how does that compare to some of the international teams?
I would put UCLA up against a lot of the international teams, and they would fare very well against them. What we don't understand about international is the international teams aren't really together often enough to train like the college teams are. They either just don't have the budget, or it's just a difficult logistics nightmare to try to get all the girls together to train. And when they do train, they're training a week here, a week there. So it's not like a college season where you're together from August until May or June trying to win a national title. A lot of the training that the USA players do is they do it on their own at home, and they have to make sure that they hold each other accountable for when they come back and they're ready to train.
Vines is going to come in as a pinch runner. Remember, she came across and scored the winning run against Florida. I remember last year, Team Japan came to the Coachella Valley to participate in the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. What an impressive team. So we'll do it again. Garcia's still at the plate. There's a strike. So I'm curious, I look at the left arm and I think I see an Apple Watch. Is that what I see, or is that?
That's actually a shout out to Whoop. Whoop is not a watch. It is a analytics system that helps you track how much you're sleeping, your recovery, your workouts. And there's actually no screen on it, and I wear one, but there's no screen on it, so that's why they're able to wear it out there on the field.
Line drive to the second baseman. This might be 2, 4, 6, 3. Team USA gets out of the inning. Very nice turn by Aguilar to Nichols and over to first base. But the Bruins put up 3 runs. They lead 3-1.
USA Preps Softball is a proud sponsor of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. USA Preps tournaments provide solid competition and always guarantee an abundance of college coaches. Check out USA Preps for more info on upcoming events. Stop playing inexpensive friendlies and start playing USA Preps.
And I think it's really exciting to see all the different girls out here wearing their team's jerseys. I'm sure. Let's see, I've seen the Corona Angels, I've seen the Firecrackers, the Bat Busters. It's good to see how many girls are participating in softball. It's such a growing sport.
And it's so fun, too, to just come out and see the #1 nationally ranked team as well as the best players in the country on USA Softball national team getting ready for their gold medal run in Tokyo.
Moultrie up to bat for Team USA. Michelle takes a strike. 286 batting average. Faremo yet again ahead in the count. Off speed pitch, that drops in for a strike. 0-2.
And here's Faremo. You have to expect that she's going to go up in the strike zone to try to bait Moultrie with an 0-2 count right here.
A bunt down the line, and that's going to be a tough play. She beats it out.
And what a great read by Moultrie. The defense for UCLA was playing their first baseman whiz back, and she drops a bunt perfectly down the line. If Wiz was playing up for the bunt, she would have easily got her out at first base.
And I think it was interesting, Washington broke for the bag as well, almost boxed out the umpire.
She did. She was standing right in front of the first base umpire who was trying to make that call.
I think she was safe, but I think it was a little bit closer than the umpire might have been able to see.
Right here, a perfect bunt down the line, but you'll see Washington right in front of the view of the umpire at first base where she tries to duck last minute.
Catcher for USA steps in. Swing and a miss. A big swing and a miss by Mulipola. You hear the chant from the dugout, chanting her name. She's got 2 RBIs so far. Foul back, didn't miss it by much.
And Mulipola having a difficult time laying off that rise ball.
Little flare out into left field. Good job catching up to it. I think she was thinking about throwing to first, and she might have had a play.
Initially, I thought this ball was going to drop, but Gooden's so fast with her speed and the ability to read this ball. She's able to make the play look so easy coming in.
And look at that. I think she was going to get up there and gun her out over there at first base. We already saw her early in the tournament make maybe the throw of the tournament to get a Florida batter out at home. A little bit outside for a ball. Carta stepping in, facing her alma mater. She's batting 200, trying to help herself out. She's in the circle today. There's strike 1-1. Moultrie over there at first base. There's a strike 1 and 2.
What's so impressive about Faremo is she started off Carta with a ball, but is able to come back with the 2 strikes. She has so much control over her pitches and is able to hit her spots.
Do you think she'll go rise ball here again?
Until the USA team as a whole can start laying off that rise ball, Faremo is going to wear them out with that rise ball, maybe sprinkle in a little bit of a changeup, and then just to keep them honest, throw that curveball on the outer half of the plate. But that rise ball is going to be her go-to right now against this USA team.
She gets her sign, looks at her wrist, winds and delivers. Up high, there it was. Carta doing a good job laying off of that pitch.
And there's that whoop watch right there. Does not have a screen, but it helps the athletes understand their recovery, how much they're sleeping, because it's so important to get that sleep to recover as an athlete.
Fouled off, staying alive. We had mentioned before that I'm a Dodger fan. You, of course, are a White Sox Angels fan. Angels in the same division as the Astros, so this is where we insert the Astros reference. Does it buzz or does it not buzz? Paramo, indoor wind, and the pitch, off-speed pitch down in the dirt. Good job by Garcia to keep it in front of her. Moultrie over there at first base, we actually don't have any statistics in terms of stolen bases.
Moultrie is always a threat on the bases. She's so fast, but she makes it look effortless when she's running. And she was on the run right there.
Carta with an excellent at-bat, fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch. A couple new softballs come into play. Every time one is hit into the crowd, they ask them to bring it back. But I have seen a couple fans kind of smuggle them away and take home a souvenir. Paramo checks her wrist, winds and delivers. And there's ball 4. That was a close pitch. Good take by Carta. She's over there at first. Let's take a look.
Low in the strike zone and does not get the called strikeout for Paramo.
Excellent pitcher's pitch, but unsuccessful getting the call. So Reed steps in, and we mentioned speed before. Reed, I wonder if they had sprints, if she would win. Just watching her go down to first base and beat out throws. Phenomenal speed in the number 9 hole. So Team USA with 2 runners on, only 1 out. Swung on and missed. Reed batting a cool .444 on the season thus far.
And Reed, an Oregon alum, they'll be heading up to Oregon to play her alumni team.
Swung on and missed. You look down the roster for Team USA and you see a lot of Pac-12 alumni on this team.
There's quite a few Pac-12 and quite a few SEC players on this team that make up most of the roster. You have Kat Osterman, Rachel Garcia, Kelsey Stewart down there at the end of the dugout talking. Hopefully Kat's not giving her any advice on hitting.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3. That rise ball effective against Team USA. Let's take a look.
And here's that rise ball. USA has to start laying off that rise ball and start attacking Paramo's curveball. If not, Paramo is going to wear them out and she's going to be successful shutting this potent USA lineup down.
Yesterday, Team USA, of course, faced Utah, and it was good to see Flippin in the lineup. Excellent off-speed pitch for a strike.
What a great call there. And I'm assuming Lisa Fernandez is in the dugout calling this game, but an amazing call right there with runners in scoring position to come back with a first pitch changeup strike.
McLeany in her first at bat, she doubled. Came around to score later in the inning. Lays off the rise ball. They'll appeal, no. Stewart is on deck for Team USA. They've got 2 runners on. Moultrie over there at second base. As you mentioned before, a lot of speed, so a single will probably score. Fouled off. She just got to that pitch. Is there such thing as a good foul ball? Because it seemed like that was outside the zone and she just got a little bit of wood on it.
There's productive foul balls and there's unproductive foul balls. It's just the timing and what you're trying to do. What is your game plan against the pitcher? If you're fouling off rise balls because you can't lay off of them and to stay alive, then those are productive.
That might have cleared the bases, but bounces foul. Incredible crowd. More and more people are filling in You take a look, there's temporary bleachers set up in the outfield. Those are completely full. Obviously to the left of us, the seats behind home plate, those are completely full. And then just standing room only down the line.
And it's starting to warm up out here. You see a lot of the easy ups and the umbrellas up in the outfield, and in the back, everybody's huddled underneath the overhang.
Just tapped that foul. So there are 2 outs, and Framo's ahead in the count, 1-2. A lot of powder blue. They got very loud on that Brady home run. And the 1-2 pitch, up high. Good job by Garcia jumping up and keeping that from going to the backstop. I've been really impressed with Garcia behind the plate. Just made some excellent plays, both on defense and at the plate. Two, 2 outs. Oh, just missed it. Close call. We got to take a look at that again.
Where is this pitch? Granted, we don't have the best view, but this pitch is right on the outside corner of the plate. So close, but so close to take when you've got 2 strikes with runners in scoring position.
So 3-2, runners will be going with 2 outs. Off-speed pitch, grounded over to the first baseman. Wiz takes it, and the Bruins get out of the jam. Good play by Wiz, and it remains 3-1. And welcome back. You know, Palm Springs has a really cool air museum, and you see one of the planes flying into Palm Springs Airport. We've got ourselves a good game here in Cathedral City. 3-1 is your score. The Bruins so far pulling the upset. And we have a pitching change. Carta comes out and Abbott comes in. Abbott, about a week ago, threw a no-hitter for Team USA. And she'll be facing that very fast bottom of the lineup. Prober, the senior, will lead off this inning. Curro, the freshman, followed by Gooden, the sophomore.
And Monica is so overpowering, can hit 70-72 throwing the ball by. She's got a great curveball, a great rise ball, and she does have a changeup that she can use to keep the hitters honest.
She's also from California, born in Santa Cruz, California, just about an hour south of San Francisco, if you're not familiar with the state. Very good surf town. She played with the Tennessee Diamonds in As a pro, she has a 126 and 41 record. And she's already been to one Olympics. She was at the Beijing Olympics with Team USA.
So she is a veteran on this team. She's one of the older players, Kat Ostrom being the other eldest, but they have so much knowledge and so much experience going to the Olympic Games.
Big swing and a miss by Prober.
And that's that rise ball right there that Monica is going to use until you can show her that you can lay off that pitch, and then she'll start bringing it down into the zone.
Rise ball, 0-2.
And there's no reason to change her game plan right here. Prober's coming out hot and heavy with her hard swings. And you see Monica right here probably climb the ladder just a little bit more.
Swung on and miss, and yes, she did. 3 rise balls, 3 strikes, 1 down in the second inning.
And that rise ball is so deadly, especially if you cannot lay off of it.
I love her windup. Swung on and missed. Up there to bat right now is Kuro, who's had a very good Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Lays off that rise ball. Kuro's batting .375, 3 doubles, 2 home runs. Swung on and missed. So Abbott is not messing around, going right after the UCLA hitters.
I love this about her. They're down 3-1 right now. Allie had a little bit of a difficult time in the first inning, and Monica is coming in, shutting the door on the UCLA hitters right now.
So drop third strike, throw over to first in plenty of time. 7 pitches, and you have 2 strikeouts.
Monica, another pitcher who also plays in the Japan League in the off season when she's not playing USA Softball or Pro Ball out here in the States.
Kelly Gooden, the left fielder, steps in. Probably made the best throw I've seen this entire tournament. And this is my 17th game of the tournament. That throw to get the Florida runner at the plate, phenomenal.
It was a great relay. It was from the fence. Gooden was able to pick it up cleanly and throw a strike to Perez, and Perez turns around and guns down the Florida runner for the go-ahead run.
There's also that throw to the plate where the runner was tagging up in extra innings, and she was able, so she'll beat you at the plate or if you hit the ball to her defensively.
And I've said this earlier, Gooden is the one player you do not want her to beat you in front of you. And right now, Bubba Nichols is playing in front of the baseline at shortstop.
Take strike 3, so Abbott comes in, strikes out the side, but the Bruins still lead 3-1.
And I could be aging myself right here, but all these fans, all these little girls, look at that Amanda Lorenz at the bottom picture when I was playing USA Softball, and then the top updated picture when she started playing USA Softball. That's what it's all about, having the girls come out and see who they want to be like, who they want to emulate, and it's so fun to see these young girls and these young ladies out here mingling at the ballpark. Honestly, you have Olympians walking around this ballpark. I'm sitting next to Natasha Watley right now, and you got Kelly Kretschmann out there. You have so many Olympians who have been to the games, and it's just a great experience to bring your daughters out here and have them see that for themselves. I mean, I have a 6-year-old daughter myself, and I took her to a USA hockey game the other day, and after the game, the one thing can we see the players? I want to see the players. So she got a couple autographs from some of the USA Hockey Olympians, which is pretty cool.
And I saw the other day that it was the 40th anniversary of Al Michaels' call from the Olympics, where, do you believe in miracles? Yes. Over here, Team USA is down by 2 runs to UCLA. Stewart hits a laser out into left field. It gets over the head of Gooden. Gooden will come up firing, hit the cutoff. But Stewart finds herself over there at second base with a leadoff double.
And this UCLA lineup out there in left field, Gooden just having trouble going back on the ball, but it was a nice line drive that just carried off of Stewart's bat. Very difficult when the ball's coming right at you to gauge.
Yeah, as a former outfielder, when that ball is hit to you, that's the hardest thing to judge. Do I go up? Do I go back? What do I do? Gooden almost got to it, leaped up and missed it by about a foot. Very close. So Team USA, runner in scoring position, and I love that pitch, off-speed pitch for a strike.
And showing so much respect right there to Ali Aguilar, one of the top hitters for USA Softball. She hits for average, and she can also get you with the home run ball.
Leads the team with 14 RBI. There's a strike on the inside corner. Good job by Garcia framing it. I'm not sure that was a strike. Good job by the freshman. So the 0-2 pitch. Ground ball to Perez. Good job playing the hop. Throws across the diamond for the out.
And Perez out there smiling because she probably had her eyes closed when she caught this ball. Honestly, a laser again, but great hands right there by Perez and sticking with it, getting her feet set to make a good throw to first base.
We mentioned yesterday how many good defensive shortstops that were there in the Pac-12. That was an excellent play. Arioto is going to step in for Team USA. She has 2 RBI so far on the tour. She pops it up to the infield. Wiz is having a tough time seeing it. She does come down with it, and we got 2 down.
And that sun is starting to sneak over the third base line side where it's very difficult for the first baseman and the second baseman to see those pop-ups.
And I see the sunglasses on the left side of the infield for UCLA, but they're not actually on. They're on the visor. So Ferramo is 1 out away from getting out of this mini jam. Team USA had the leadoff double. Nichols facing her former teammate. And it's scary to think that after the Olympics, she could be coming back to UCLA.
It is scary because she is coming back to UCLA as a senior and redshirting. I mean, I was a redshirt senior, and that extra year just helped me so much. I mean, I was 23 when I graduated, and most of the girls are 21 or 22 years old. So that extra year underneath your belt to kind of get settled in.
So 2-0 is the count to Bubba Nichols. There's a strike, 2-1.
And there were quite a few Olympians who had to redshirt to go to the Olympics. When they made the Olympic team, you had Stacey Newman, another UCLA great, and she was unstoppable through her 4 years, as well as Laura Berg from Fresno State.
Just missed on that one, a little bit outside. So 3-1. There is a base open. Stewart is at second base for Team USA. In the first inning, Bubba Nichols flied out to right field. She hits the ball hard, should be playable. Brady calls off Gooden, makes the play, and that'll do it for Team USA. So the leadoff double is wasted, can't get a run across, and UCLA goes into the bottom of the third with a 3-1 lead.
Jug Sports is a proud sponsor of the Mary Nutter. Jug Sports is the #1 supplier worldwide for softball practice equipment.
Top of the lineup coming up for UCLA. Washington will lead off. She singled in her first at bat. Takes high for a ball. So Washington's having herself a very good Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic, both at the plate and on the base paths. Takes a little low, 2-0. Abbott's coming in for her second inning of work. There's a strike on the outside corner. Abbott pitched for the University of Tennessee from 2004 to 2007. Just about a week ago, she threw a no-hitter against Oklahoma State. Team USA won that game 4-0. She was going to get a chance to pitch against #1 Washington, but that game got canceled. I would have loved to have seen that game.
Ladies, you gotta keep coming this way, please.
And what are they discussing over their home plate?
It's hard to say. I'm trying to read her lips right now.
Abbott has a little bit different of a motion when she comes to the plate. I wonder if the umpire is saying something about that.
It looks like if we go to her last pitch, she might have pulled up and the umpire called it a ball on Monica Abbott.
So a discussion down the third base line. Abbott with so much experience. Let's take a look. Not really sure what happened.
I'm not sure what's going on then.
The umpires are in agreement. They're nodding their heads, and so let's see what they're going to say. They're trying to explain it to Team USA's coaches. He's satisfied, and he'll walk off. And now the discussion with the UCLA coaches, trying to explain what happened.
And I think what Kelly Enway Perez is saying is that Monica didn't call timeout. But it looks like they're agreeing with USA Softball.
Well, now everybody's on the same page, and we'll go back to it. Washington's still up, 3-1 count. So the wind is kicking up a little bit here in Cathedral City. I see the flags waving a little bit. There's a palm tree really blowing in the wind as well. A 3-1 pitch. Taken for a strike, 3-2. Two and two is going to be your count, excuse me. Scoreboard was off a little bit. You can take a look at that wind. Strike 3 called. You know, it's getting warmer. It hasn't been very windy today. Take a look at this pitch.
And right there, Monica's curveball just paints that outside corner, but tough pitch to take with 2 strikes.
Washington was frozen on that pitch. Perez steps in. Drops that one in there for a strike, 0-1.
And we haven't seen a changeup by Monica yet, so you have to think that these UCLA hitters are sitting on a fastball. And I spoke too soon. She threw a changeup right there to Perez.
Tough bounce for Aguilar. She plays it well, and we have 2 down.
And right here, that's the one good thing at second base. You can have time to set your feet, whereas shortstop, you don't have that amount of time because of how quickly the runner gets down to first base.
Aaliyah Jordan, one of the best hitters in the nation, will step in. She flew out to right field in her first at-bat. A little bit off the plate for a ball, 1-0. So matchups like this, I'm sure the fans are really excited to see the result. Ground ball over to first base. She'll take it over unassisted, and that'll do it for UCLA. So I spoke a little bit too soon. She forces the ground ball, and that'll be the 3rd out of the inning. But UCLA still maintains a 3-1 lead. Such a treat to have two Olympians to the left of me. Welcome to the broadcast.
Oh, well, thank you.
And Natasha Watley sitting next to us right now watching her UCLA Bruins as well as USA Softball, which she played on 2004, winning a gold medal, and in 2008 a silver.
Ground ball into the hole for a single. It'll go off into right field. So tell me so far, what have you been impressed with the Bruins?
Oh my gosh, their at-bats, their aggressiveness. I mean, it's the USA team and they're like taking no mercy on them. It's they're not afraid, just going straight up there and hacking and having some good at-bats. I love it.
And UCLA's pitching staff has been impressive today as well.
Absolutely, and holding this USA team, I mean, it's an offensive team for sure, and it's just been amazing to see that they're holding them.
Pop up into shallow left field. It'll actually fade back into the infield. Perez makes the catch, and we've got one down.
Coming on for Team USA, number 3, Ali Cardo.
So that'll bring up Carta. Absolutely an honor to speak to two Olympians. It's not. What do you think? What do you think UCLA can learn by playing Team USA? How many lessons and what lessons do you think they can take away from this game?
I think right now is the fact that they are coming out competing against USA. It doesn't matter the other opponent that's in the dugout. They're coming out every single day and they're giving it their best, and they're flat out competing and going head to head with the U.S. national team.
So Faremo has looked really good, keeping the Team USA batters a little bit off balance as she's mixing in the rise ball and the changeup. Ground ball across the diamond. This could be two. Off to Washington. Throw not in time. Curro made a good turn to get the lead runner, and Washington did what she could to get it over to Wiz. Just too much speed.
And the USA hitters are running out of time. They need to make an adjustment as a team. You have a couple of them laying off the rise ball, but not the entire team. And until you can do that and show UCLA and Faremo as a team that you can lay off that rise ball, she's going to keep attacking you with it.
So Reed steps in. There's 2 outs in the inning. There's a strike. Reed so far today is 0 for 1. She struck out on a rise ball in the second inning. Carta is over at first. Line drive, and that's going to get into left field for a base hit. Carta moves over to second. We still have 2 down, but Team USA is trying to start a 2-out rally. So Reed did a good job going the other way, advancing the runner. McClenny will step in the top of the lineup. She doubled in her first at-bat, grounded out to first in her second at-bat, so 1 for 2 today. Fouled back, just missed it. She was sitting on that pitch. So this would be really exciting for Faremo to say, you know, I've kind of shut down the U.S. Olympic team if she can get out of this jam. She's only given up the 1 run. Sits on a ground ball to Perez, over to Washington, and they get the runner Reed at second base. So the Bruins will head into the bottom of the 4th inning. They are leading Team USA 3-1. And welcome back to FloSoftball's broadcast of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. It is not too often that I have two Olympians on the broadcast, so I'm just going to lay low and be quiet for right now and let the two of you analyze the game.
Well, Monica also plays in Japan internationally. She plays there in the Pro League, and I know you played over there as well. Can you tell us about that experience?
Yes, well, playing in Japan, I think Monica has grown as a pitcher. This will be her 12th season playing there, so I think it's going to be great for her matching up with them in the Olympics. I mean, obviously they have seen her, but she knows them like the back of her hand.
And 12 seasons? How many seasons did you play there?
I played 8. I played with her for 8, and this will be the 12th season. Amazing.
And what's the difference with the Japanese culture in athletics and softball as opposed to the American culture?
There's not much differences. I think just in general, Japanese culture, they're very regiment, very routine. I think it complements Monica's personality. She loves routines. And they practice a ton, and not too much different than our culture, but we're more efficient with our practice. We like to get in, get out, and move from station to station 2 to 3 to 4 hours, where practices there, we're there like 8 hours a day.
I remember when we played together on the USA team and watching the Japanese players and the amount of time that they spent. They would just sometimes dry swing at the hotel, out in the parking lot.
It's amazing. It's amazing their dedication to detail. And one thing that I think was surprised me the most is that they don't do a ton of drills. They practice game-like. They're practicing ground balls and actually throwing them, and doing dry swings in the hotel. Like their attention to detail it's amazing.
And what have you learned from the Japanese players or being immersed in that type of culture?
I think the attention to fundamentals and attention to detail, I just think I grew up with just this compete mentality and keep it simple. And although they do keep it simple, I think it's doing the small, tiny things and taking the extra reps and taking extra ground balls, and not so much doing drills to simulate a feeling. It's actually doing the full exercise and actually doing it all.
And I know that was one thing that we would watch, because we were both middle infielders. Their middle infielders are amazing. They're so quick. They understand the speed of the game, when to get rid of the ball, and then when to be able to set up their feet and make a good throw. How much time do they put into that, that position? That's their practice is, I think 90% of the time is taking ground balls and making sure that their whole body is activated. And you very rarely will see them throw on the run, because they're already beating the ball to where it is, and getting their feet there and making sure that they're incorporating their whole body. And it's amazing. It's like almost like art watching them take ground balls. I know you and I would gawk and just stare, and but I think it's admirable. Well, I know when I was in college taking fungo off of Coach Kendra, that was his thing. He loved himself some fungo. And you're laughing because you know what I'm talking about. But that was probably a third of the amount of time that the Japanese players puts into their defense, because they're so amazing to watch out there. But I remember our fungo and coming back our first couple 3 or 4 days in training camp. It was so hard to go and sit on a toilet or a chair.
That would be our thing.
And that was our thing, but
definitely the good old days. But that's one thing that I definitely appreciate about Coach Kendra was his attention to defense and making sure that we got the reps in. And I know in the moment, sometimes we were like, oh, gosh, hating it. But there's nothing like a Coach Kendra fungo for sure.
And over time, you just learn to love it while you're hating it.
That's a talent, too.
And who are you rooting for right now? Putting you on the spot.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I just want everybody to do good. It is hard to – how can you root for anybody right now? I mean, obviously I want USA to get some good reps and, get some good preparation, which I think this is. And obviously I'm torn. My heart's torn because, I love my Bruins, but then I think this is also great for them to see the best of the best and see how they match up against them.
So that'll be strike 3 looking, but UCLA maintains its 3-1 lead. And we're gonna head to the 5th inning. And welcome back to Cathedral City, California. This is FloSoftball's broadcast of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. And we're blessed to have 2 Olympians on the broadcast right now, Natasha Watley and Lovey Jung. Thank you guys both for joining us. This is just an unbelievable conversation that we're having. And now I'm going to stop talking and let you guys continue.
Well, Faraimo is dealing right now. What do you think USA needs to do to get on top of her? And
I think they just need to attack early in the count. It's not like she's pitching around them. She's literally coming right at them. So if I think they are aggressive earlier in the count, let's just take some hacks and see what we can do.
And right now you have Kelsey Stewart right there questioning a pitch.
I have a question for you, Lovey.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, I'm going to turn the tables. Oh.
And a home run by Kelsey Stewart coming in and making Faraimo pay. Score 3-2 now, just battling back at bat by at bat. And here we go, USA Softball is on the board, one step closer to tying this game.
Love it. Well,
all right, what's your question?
Well, what impresses you most about this USA team? What are you excited for?
I think Wes and I have talked about throughout the broadcast is their speed, 1 through 9, and even the players who are on the bench. They're so fast, and a lot of times with teams, you'll see a couple players at the top of the lineup that are really fast and a couple players at the bottom of the lineup, but then they also have the right amount of power in the middle of the lineup. Especially we're talking about Ali Aguilar, who's one of your teammates in Japan and also one that you help coach in Japan. And what impresses you about Ali Aguilar?
I love Ali Aguilar's wanting to learn more about the game. I mean, she's so incredibly talented, but her ability to just want more knowledge and just learn, I think it's what sets her apart. I mean, she's just so gifted. I mean, obviously defensively, she's sick. Her glove handling skills, footwork, I mean, she loved to get rid of it. She's legit. And I think she can do so many things well. I think while we were in Japan, one of the things that she wanted to add to her game was more of a short game, slapping. And so we worked a lot with that. But I mean, does she need it? I mean, it never hurts to have options, but I think the world of her because of her ability to do so many different things. She's so versatile.
And on defense, when we talk a lot, when we were playing in the middle infield, the slapper / left-handed hitter that could hit the ball past us was so difficult to defend. You don't know whether or not to play him in or play him back, and that can burn you sometimes if you don't know if they're going to beat you in front or if they're going to hit a line drive past you, and even a home run, because Allie can do that as well.
Right, and I think that's the one thing that she really understands, like having that feeling defensively, knowing that if she were to apply that to her game offensively, how much it would open up her game so much more offensively.
And that would give her so many more options because she can drag and get down the line for as quick as she is. What a treat, though. You've been out here all weekend, out in the outfield helping out, and you've been able to watch UCLA dominate throughout the tournament.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just impressed. I mean, I think everybody was kind of counting UCLA out before the season started, knowing that, you know, the obvious is that they're losing Bubble Nichols and Rachel Garcia, but offensively, their lineup from top to bottom, I mean, they've got that mix of speed and they've got that mix of power, and like you just from top to bottom, like you just don't get any rest. And I think that's what's kind of awesome to kind of watch UCLA, and just Megan in the circle. I think she's just holding it down too. So,
and my favorite part of the lineup, if I have a favorite, is Curo and Gooden at the bottom of the lineup. Curo, a right-handed hitter, but so fast she could beat you with the drag bunt and then on the bases. And then Gooden, she has been able to beat the defenses in the infield within 5 to 10 feet of home plate. And right there, Bubble Nichols so close to a home run, but unable to get that over the left center field wall, with Gooden being able to pull it in for UCLA.
Welcome back to Cathedral City for FloSoftball's broadcast of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. And we were talking in the break how many young girls are out here, softball players for travel ball teams or just fans of the game. And my question to you is, what should they look for? What can they learn from all these girls out here as they watch the game?
I think it's the little stuff, the detail to the game, the detail to attention, and the fact that a lot of our game is uncontrollable, but to be able to watch what the girls can control, their attitude, their hustle, running through the bag at first base and hustling, and having a good approach at home plate, but also their reactions to a failure of an at-bat, and also responding to that next at-bat with what they had learned.
if they get a chance to ask some of the players after the game, what type of questions do you think they'll ask them?
The young athletes?
Yes.
What's your favorite color? I'm just kidding. No, I think for the young athletes, I think for them, they just are still learning the game, and just to be around them, to see the game being played at this level, and when you're still learning the game and now to actually see it be put all together, it kind of like makes things click and like, okay, that's what I need to strive for, that's what I want to be. So I mean, for a young athlete to be out here, I just hope that they're observing everything that, just attaching on to what Lovey said. I think watching how they prepare, how they manage, if they pop up and they don't get the hit, what are they doing, and noticing those things, not necessarily what they do if they hit a home run or whatnot. I think those are all the things that they should be paying attention to.
And a lot of what is taught to the players is the amount of failure that comes with playing softball and baseball. But honestly, those aren't failures. Those are learning curves. We didn't get to where we're at because it was all grand and dandy and everything was kosher along the journey. We're here because we were told at one point of our lives that no, you would never be a middle infielder, or you got cut from a team and didn't make a team. That's why we're standing here. But we also were able to get up, dust ourselves off, and then learn from that experience and then take it down the road to be able to make the USA team.
Swung on a missed, strike 3. So the other thing I wanted to ask both of you about, what has been the most impressive part of the weekend, whether it be on the field or the facilities, the weather? What has impressed you the most?
How many people are here? This is amazing. I mean, I think for Lovey and I was actually talking to Lovey's mom the other night, and Lovey's mom asked, did you guys play in this in college? We did not. This tournament did not exist. We did play here on the national team and professionally on the Pride. I played here, but to see how this tournament has grown, to see how many people are out here supporting the game, like this is just a testament to just how great this game is and how much it's growing.
And what are a couple of the teams that you've seen that have impressed you thus far?
I might be biased with the Pac-12, but I really like Washington. Washington is so electric. Their defense, if out of all the teams collegiately, you want to bring your daughter or show your daughter what a great defense looks like, fundamentally the basics, and also being able to make the plays when it counts under pressure, Washington is the team to watch.
I agree. Defensively, they're just so fundamentally sound and make the hard plays, make the easy plays. But I think also, too, what's awesome about Washington is like their energy on defense, the way they communicate. I'm impressed with that as well.
Swung on a miss, strike 3, and that'll do it. So Abbott has come in and quieted the UCLA bats, but UCLA still has a lead, 3-2. Welcome back to FloSoftball's broadcast of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Now, seeing all the Pac-12 teams out here, Oregon, Washington, UCLA, Arizona, Arizona State. Who do you think are the top 3 teams in the Pac-12? How do you think they'll finish in order?
Ooh, putting us on the
I
spot
know, I was
again,
like,
Wes.
come on.
Right? I mean, every single one of the teams, it's going to be a grind weekend to weekend, and it's going to be so difficult. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to go undefeated in the Pac-12, but we probably might have the same 3 teams in our head. I'm going to go with, obviously, Arizona, bear down. Sorry, Bruin Bubble. And then I'm going to go with the Washington Huskies because they are going to surprise a lot of people, and they're already one of the top teams in the country. And I will have to go with the Bruin Bubble, the UCLA Bruins. I have been able to watch them throughout the last couple of days, and they are impressive. Even though they have lost Garcia in the pitching mound and a big bat, and another big bat, Bubba Nichols, who played center field for them.
Is that your order?
I don't have an order.
Okay. Well, I'm going to choose an order, and I'm I'm obviously going with the Bruins. I think just with the momentum of last year and just how electrifying they've been the last couple days, I'm choosing them 1. 2, I'm going with Arizona. The other night when I got to see them play against the USA team, I am a Jessie Harper fan. Homegirl can hit. And so
that makes 2 of us.
I just think she can hit. And like you said, Mariah Lopez, if she gets it going in the circle, I think that they're going to be a force to be reckoned with. And then I haven't seen Oregon play this year yet, and I haven't seen ASU. I saw Washington the other day, and definitely I agree on the defense thing. So I'm just going to go with them in the 3 spot just because I saw I've seen them. So I can't speak about the teams I haven't seen yet.
Who are some players out here that you've seen that are kind of on the Team USA radar, so to say?
A lot of the players on the UCLA team, a few players on the Arizona team, also Washington, and there are other players from the Florida team as well. I mean, it's just so hard to say because the growth from 17, 18 years old to 22, 23 is a huge jump. Just the maturity level and the experience that you end up coming away with after your freshman year, sophomore year in college. So it's hard to say how or when they will strive to that expectation throughout their career, but every single one of these athletes out here I'm impressed with, and the ability to do what they do, especially being a student at the university or college level.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many. I mean, just looking out here, I would go with Bree Perez, Ferramo. I would even say Leah Jordan. I think, obviously, I think she's young, and I think she's still got so much more ahead of her. But there's just, I mean, how do you even put a list together? I mean, there's just so much talent, and I keep going back to Harper, but the other night when I was watching her, I'm like, she definitely has to be on a list and be a good, great candidate.
Let's talk about Harper for a second, not because I'm biased, but you brought it up. The ability of her at bats, they are productive. She also has quality at bats, but she comes through in the big pressure situations when Arizona needs her. And another Arizona Wildcat going deep to left center fielder. I love me some Deja Mulipola right there, tying the game up 3-3. But we talked about let's go back to Jessie Harper. We talked about her ability to hit the ball to left center field, left field with power, and the ability and the strength that she has to hit the field to Oppo.
Yeah, that is, and I'm going to say it, this day and age, that's like a rare thing that you see consistently going to both fields. Like, I think that's where she gets me. You know, we nickname it the Oppo Taco, but like when she goes Oppo and then she can go left center, like consistently, I mean, I think that that's just a dangerous hitter, and I am like amazed by her, and I can watch her productive at bats all the time.
And speaking from a hitter standpoint, when you're able to split the home plate in half, and a lot of times kids are taught split the home plate in half and pick one side or the other, but Jessie Harper can hit the inside half and the outside half with just as much power, if not more power, to the opposite side of the field.
I could not agree more. And I think that's it's just seeing that consistently. I don't know if we see it consistently enough.
And I'm going to venture over to the Florida team right here. I don't know if you saw Trilicek pitch yesterday or not. She's a left-handed pitcher, and she is a beaut to watch. She is so amazing to watch as a left-handed pitcher. She throws the curveball. She has a rise ball. She also has a really good changeup, and she was able to beat Arizona with her pitches. And also, coming in earlier today, she didn't do too bad. But I really like her. She was on the national team, actually the junior national team the last couple years, and she has a bright future because she is only a freshman. You know, Wes and I talked about that, how young she is and how young the Florida team is too. And they have so much growth to do throughout the next couple of years. They're just going to be a really good team come their junior year in the next 3 or 4 years.
So the game just got tied, and my question to you, how does Framo rebound from this? That's got to be emotionally kind of draining. Here you are about to beat Team USA, but home run ties it up.
Well, right now, obviously USA has come together and they have made an adjustment off of Framo. They're either getting on top of that rise ball that she's throwing and have been able to get them to swing through, or they're attacking her curveball. But Framo just probably has to sprinkle in a little bit of those changeups out of the zone just to keep them honest, because right now they're sitting on that rise ball. And the maturity, let's go to the maturity of this USA team. Down 3-0, and then coming back 3-1, and just every inning keeping the pressure on from batter to at bat. Having productive and quality at bats is key, because that way throughout the game you're somewhat wearing down the pitcher with the amount of pitches that they're throwing and having to compete every single pitch throughout each hitter on this USA lineup.
Now, in terms of mindset, let's say Team USA goes on to win, let's say 4-3. If you're the pitcher, do you go home and say, hey, I threw a heck of a game against Team USA, or do you say, oh, so close to winning that game?
If you're a competitor, she goes home thinking like, geez, I was so close to winning that game, because she held them for so long. And I think obviously if she can keep things in perspective, which I'm sure her coaching staff will do, is that she was able to hold this offensive team, but look at what you're capable of. And I think for her, this, you know, if she does go down, and I think this would be a great learning experience for her and something that might be pivotal in her career, just knowing that she was able to hold this offensive team.
So 0-2 is the count to Reed. Reed today is 1 for 2.
And let's talk about the training, because I gave my perspective a little bit, but let's hear your perspective about the tour and the grind and the amount of work that it takes from here on out throughout the journey to get to the Olympics.
Yeah. I think the misconception is that we just show up for the games when we were on tour, and I think not a lot of people knew, and I'm sure you've talked about it. It's like we've got training earlier in the day. But yeah, you've got to keep training throughout the day, and you know, you're working out in the morning and you're doing stuff and as a team throughout the day, and the games are just to kind of get your live teamwork, and it's, you know, we're approaching it as, you know, making sure that we're working on all cylinders, communicating, and it's getting at bats and making sure our pitchers are throwing and all those things. But you know, we're working out full time from morning till night, so it's definitely a grind. And I think, that was one of the things, I had a chance to hang out with the team before the tour started, and I was just like, it's going to be a grind, and you're going to get pulled from so many different directions too. You are in your hometown or you're playing at your college, and, people want to see you and hang out with you, and they want you to come talk to their team and their youth team, and there's a lot of distractions and there's a lot getting thrown at you, and I think it's kind of staying focused, but also knowing that it's a little bit of a journey and a grind leading up to Tokyo.
Before we go any further, I think you got to see some of the social media
Hi,
love that you
Karen.
guys are
Hi,
getting.
Karen. I love Karen. And a little bit of Taryn. The fungo.
You learn to love it while you hate it. Oh, that's hilarious.
Oh, he's going to kill me. Oh, gosh. He's going to make me go out and take fungo at 40.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. leave me out of it.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, Natasha, about also one of the players at UCLA. Perez has the hashtag mom bomb, the hashtag mom bunt now. It's got to be exciting to see her come onto this UCLA team and bring such excitement to the bench.
Oh my gosh, I think she just lit up the offense. It's I think it's one of those things that just got put in there. I mean, she obviously transferred into UCLA, but everybody's been so focused on what they lost, and now it's she just sparked up the whole offense. And I was literally yesterday jumping up and down when she put down that bunt. That's what it is. It's compete. If I'm her, I might be swinging for the fences all the time, but 100% read your defense, see what they give you, and kind of spark up an offense. So I'm here for the mom bunts.
Coming up for Team USA, center fielder, number 8, Haley.
And I think Team USA has noticed just how good Framo is. Look at this, getting a handshake from the Olympic coach and some encouraging words. How does that feel as a player?
That's just amazing right there, because Framo is in the USA system. She has come to try out. She has been on the junior national team, and she is a delight. We cannot stress anymore how much she is going to grow even in the next couple years as a college player and an international player. She has so much upside to her.
So Lexi Sosa is coming in for the Bruins. She pitched yesterday for an inning, and now she comes in a little bit of a jam runner in scoring position. And the top of the lineup coming up for Team USA.
And one of the things about our training, it's an all-day thing, and then you have to come out and play 8 o'clock at night, and then turn around and sign autographs at 11 o'clock at night, which we love to do. That's probably one of the best parts about the journey and going to tour stops and seeing all these amazing young girls that want to be where we're at and in our shoes. But gosh, Tasha, I just did not like waking up in the morning. I know you were the other one too on the team.
I was right there with you. And I am not a morning person, and I thought that I could become one. But you know what? Some things that's just not how it is. And but I mean, you gotta learn to work with what you got, and it's a grind. But I think it comes down to remembering what the goal was and why we were there, and you work through it. But it was hard, and the mornings where we had workouts and we come to 8 o'clock games and your legs are heavy, and the last thing you want to do is sprint down to first base after you just did a workout that morning. It's those things that you just got to push through, and I think I hope that these young girls here, I wish that they could realize what goes on behind the scenes for especially this USA team as they're on their tour.
And the same thing with the college team. You don't realize how much work goes in behind the scenes on top of playing out here in the games throughout the weekend.
So I've got a question for you. If you get an off day as an Olympian, what do you do?
Nothing.
Sleep.
Sleep,
repeat.
Nothing. Because I feel like over that time, you're just always on the go. There's no stopping. There's no recovery sometimes. And you just constantly go, 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 go. And that's something that has kind of transitioned into my personal life where I'm constantly doing stuff, and that's almost like it was just embedded in me throughout my career. It's just I'm not used to just sitting around and not doing anything. I'm always used to having a goal and then taking that journey to obtain that goal in some way. So sometimes I'm told to slow down, relax, but it's hard, especially
really
when
is.
we've been doing it for so long. What a great catch. I love me some Gooden
Girl.
out there. And in the 9-hole, her speed, she is so efficient to the ball. And that ball's tough because it's like we were talking about, Wes, that ball's right at her. So do you go back on that line drive or do you go forward on that line drive right away? Just trying to gauge the depth.
Just be aggressive. I am a Godin fan for sure. Like, I am so obsessed with her, and I don't know if that's okay to say, but like I love watching her play and compete, and like her ability to accept that 9 roll. Like, she's just like, I'm just turning over this line. I'm just turning this over to get to the top. Like, to buy into that is amazing. And runners in scoring position doesn't matter. She's completely bought into, I'm just turning this lineup over, and like that's, to me, is someone who I want on my team for sure.
Can we take a look at that replay of Gooden's effort on that play? Full layout right there, and I'm just curious how close she came to making that catch. I think they called it a trap.
It was empty.
Oh, it was tagging up. That's where we went wrong. Okay.
But what a play, because that's, if she were to miss that ball, your center fielder is 60, 70 feet away from you trying to catch up to a pass ball out in left field. And she had the confidence and the whereabouts to dive and make that catch.
It's amazing.
Now, Lovey, I asked you about this earlier, but Natasha, I want to ask you, where would UCLA rank in terms of Olympic competition? Would they medal?
Ooh. Ooh. Right? That's what I said.
Yeah, I mean, actually, I would say they would be a top contender for gold or silver. I think that they could compete internationally for sure. And I mean, even just watching them today, I mean, I think that they're proving that they could.
And it's so fun to be out here and to watch the amount of talent that we have seen the last couple of days. I can't wait for their conferences and every weekend to watch them compete. It's just going to be so much fun to watch the amount of talent that the college game has. So what was your favorite country that we ever went to?
As a team, I think our Italy trip, I think because there's so many memories that we made. I mean, obviously I think we grew as a team there because we were literally put through hell and just our workouts and just our living arrangements and just having to be around each other so much. But obviously just being able to view the country and learn a little bit about history and culture. And Coach Kendra did a great job of allowing us to go and sightsee and do things. But I definitely think Italy would be my favorite. What was yours?
I'll elaborate a little bit more on that. We were there for a month. Training and then also playing some of the international teams and some of the pro teams out there in Italy. But the thing was, if any of you guys ever have been to European countries, especially Italy, the cars there are really small, right? I mean, they're like little Fiats. You can only fit maybe 4 people in it. Well, there's 18 on our team, and the coaching staff, maybe by plan, gave us 3 cars. So if you do the math right, it does not allow for all 18 of us.
So there definitely was some arguments that happened because some people got left behind.
To use the 3 cars. So we had to figure it out as a team. We had to be able to communicate and get over some of the arguments. And I think that helped us in the long run as a team.
For sure. I definitely think that looking back, that was like a pivotal moment for our team just to kind of bond, grow together, and push through those tough moments for sure.
And before there was Wi-Fi, we had dial-up, AOL, right?
Hey, let me stop dating us.
When we got there was no way we could communicate. We couldn't get AOL. There was no Wi-Fi. That wasn't even invented yet. So, I mean, and our phones were flip phones. We didn't have iPhones that we could internationally call our parents. So it was like anxiety trying to get a hold of our loved ones back home. Do you remember that?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's like we just left and like just got sent off and to go like fight for our country, literally. Like, oh man, I'm dying. That's funny.
But Italy is my favorite. If I can go back there as many times as I could, I would. I went and did a clinic probably 5 or 6 years now. I was 8 months pregnant. I'm like, I'm going. I don't care if I'm 8 months pregnant. I'm going to Italy and I'm getting myself some gelato and some pasta out there because their food is amazing. If you've never had Italian food in Italy, it is not the same as American Italian food.
Am I allowed to say that the wine there was good? Are we allowed to say that here?
Yeah. We've been talking about beer. Well, Wes has been talking about beer this whole cast.
I'm like, can we talk about wine?
Well, I think there's a lot of the camera crew that are also thinking about beer because we've had a number of shots of the beer being filled up back behind us, and also just in general, the good food that's here at Big League Dreams, whether it be the funnel cake or the kettle corn.
And the fans seem not to have died out yet. Even though the score is 7-3, they're going to wait to get some autographs from this USA team. Was that your favorite part of the tour? Was meeting the young girls and doing autographs? I mean, I know we went into like the wee hours of the night sometimes, 11, sometimes midnight, doing autographs.
But I think that like that's what made it like put things in perspective of like what exactly like we stood for and like what we were doing and like that we were really representing our country. And I think, you know, sometimes like we say that, but like when people stayed into the wee hours just waiting for our autographs, I mean, there's no greater feeling than that. And knowing that all of these people are with you, sending you off, it's almost like a farewell as we go and defend our country.
And that's the final out of the inning. So we'll go to break. Team USA puts a couple runs across and they take a 7-3 lead over the Bruins. Top of the lineup for UCLA coming up. Washington almost beats out an infield grounder. We have one down quickly in the inning.
And we've changed up the middle infield here a little bit. Hannah flipping in now at second base, and Ali Aguilar moved from second to shortstop.
Brianna
with this ball right here, do you go back on it or do you go get it, Tasha? You know, that's hard to say with the speedy Washington up to bat.
Right, but great job reading the hop, reading the long hop on that.
So Perez today, she's now 2 for 3. She has an RBI, a single and a double. And UCLA trying to claw back into this one, and they have quite the hitter up. Aaliyah Jordan batting over 500.
And how was your transition from being an Olympian, a pro athlete, to now what you do for the community and having your own company and nonprofit?
Transition was hard. I think for so many, like, this is what we know for all of our lives, and this is like all we've known, you know, playing softball, being a softball player, being an Olympian. And when you transition to the next thing, and, you know, when I finished, I didn't necessarily have something to walk into. I had to kind of seek some things, but I think it's rough, you know, like, okay, what else am I good at? Do I know what to do? I mean, I know that you wanted to be a firefighter. I, like, never really aspired out, like, softball was my life, you know, and beyond being a Beyonce backup dancer, you know, like, what can you
Who are you right now with the backup dancer for Beyonce?
You know that was what I wanted to do, Lovey. And so had I not been an Olympian, that's what I would have been, I guess, you know. Honestly, it's a tough transition because we dedicate our whole entire lives to this. And so, you know, it's coaching and it's staying. Obviously, you know that you want to stay in the game, and it's like, at what capacity and how can you do that?
And I know for myself, the transition was hard, even though I knew I wanted to be a firefighter. But when I rolled into interviews to be, you know, in front of a board and a panel, I had nothing on my resume. You know, I didn't have any experience as a firefighter. I didn't have any experience in a business world or having a full-time job. And my resume was literally blank. And luckily, I had some mentors that helped me with what and who were you as an athlete? What did you learn? And the characteristics that you were able to obtain on the field with the leadership and having teamwork and striving and, you know, setting those goals. And I had to be able to articulate everything that I did as an athlete on to an oral interview panel where, you know, those skills transitioned over, because as a firefighter, I work with guys every single day, 24 hours a day, 48 hours times, and I have to be able to get along with them, understand the different cultures and different perspectives of everyone else around me. And I think that is what helped me as from being a USA player, was the ability to play with all different types of individuals, and then going into other countries and seeing that what we do here in the United States isn't always what other people do outside of our country.
Right, and I think that's so important in the fact that you don't forget the things that you've acquired from being an athlete and all of those things. And I think sometimes it's so easy to overlook those things because those are things that you kind of grinded through and not necessarily like pinpointed while you were playing, that like, oh my gosh, I am just so disciplined, and like, you know, those are things that you just grind through. So I think it's really important for young athletes to, even, you know, as they're being college players and collegiate, to like really start to like look out there. I will say, looking back, that's one thing I wish I did more of, is like seeking more outside opportunities, because I just was so invested in you know, being the best that I could be, and like, which is great, but you know, there's a whole entire world that's out there that I wish that I would seek out more opportunities and what exactly is out there. And I think everything that you said, I think just making sure that you carry those things along with you when you do go to that job interview, and not to forget to mention that you went through all of those obstacles and challenges as an athlete.
And when you talk to young athletes, what do you tell them about being a student athlete in college, and just how difficult it is and how to balance their time?
Well, you can't be an athlete unless you're a student first. And I've had a few of my teammates who didn't make it through college because they either didn't go to classes or they just slacked on, you know, their tests and weren't getting the grades. So that was unfortunate. And it's important to be able to learn how to balance, and that is something that as parents, myself, I need to be able to teach my daughter before I throw her out into the real world and say, you got to do this all by yourself now. She's got to be able to learn how to balance everything and not just focus on one thing.
And on road trips, did you find yourself having to, where you want to hang out with your friends and your teammates, and having to back off and instead study and maybe take the book into the hotel room and get a couple hours in?
It's hard, especially when we talk about this all the time. When you first go to college, you don't have your parents there, and you're kind of, yes, you have the structure of your team, and you have study hall hours on the road and stuff like that, but it's just so natural and easy to want to just we just got done training, we just got done with the game, the only thing I want to do right now is do nothing. And I think it's a maturity thing. As you go through the ranks as a student athlete, you start to realize, okay, this softball thing, yes, this is a big part of my life, but after this, these grades, this degree is going to be the thing that's going to be my ticket outside of here. So you start to learn to manage time a little bit better, and when you are tired, you're going to have to study, and I think it's a maturity thing, and definitely the earlier you get that, and I think playing in programs where that's already established, and I know for me at UCLA, we had those study hall hours that were demanded of us. Obviously you're ugh. But looking back, it's teaching you that time management, how to build that structure and how to have all of that.
And honestly, when I came out of college, I thought I was done with school. I thought I was done studying. I'm you could put the books away. I'm over it, right? But that wasn't the case. Especially being a firefighter, I have to stay up on my certs. I'm constantly going to classes. We're constantly learning new technology and new ways of doing things. And I know for you, Tasha, you went back and got your master's degree, right?
Right. I thought I was done with school too. And, and then I think you mature and you're I actually do like learning. And you just always want to stay sharp. And I went back, got my master's in sports business, and just to be able to just have those degrees under your belt and just learn and know that you can go on to the next thing. And I think it's not something that I thought I was going to be done with school too.
So Lexi Sosa on the mound going into her second inning. This has to be tough as a freshman to come out there and face Team USA.
It is tough. Faremo did an amazing job, and then having to come in after Faremo to be able to try to hold this current lineup down, it is tough, but it's also those jitters yes, I get to pitch against Team USA, because I remember that, not so much in the pitcher's mound, but I remember that as a hitter, I'm most likely going to strike out looking really bad, but I'm excited to be out here and to compete against the best.
Good off-speed pitch for a strike, 0-1. So how has softball grown from when both of you were in college to now? It's got to be exciting to see all those games on FloSoftball and ESPN.
Well, big shout out to ESPN with the amount of games that you can watch, and FloSoftball as well, on either TV, live streaming, on your computer. I don't really have to go to a field to go watch really great players and great teams play anymore. I love to just get the atmosphere in the environment, but it's amazing to see. When we played, I think maybe the championship game was the only thing aired on ESPN. So now every single game in postseason, not just the World Series, is on television.
And exactly. And now we're seeing preseason games, and you're getting to actually track and follow a team through its entire season. And I think that's what's huge. But along with the exposure, I think just the game itself has grown. I think more the coaching, the quality of coaching, players staying in the game. I think just offensively, every hitter is feared, from 1 to 9. If you look at any team, defensively, footwork, glove work, like just I think just the game has gotten better, and just in terms of fundamentals and all of those great things, it's fun to see. And I think one of our things is like, can we compete with but obviously no. Yeah, I'm like, can we compete? And then the answer is immediately probably not, but it's just so fun to be around.
Now, over in high school, there's a big controversy about specializing in one sport. Do you believe in players playing multiple sports, or should they specialize in softball?
I think athletes and young kids should just get out there and play. I think too much time is focused on one sport where, soccer, they get to run around a little bit more, or play basketball and they learn eye-hand coordination. I grew up playing multiple sports and I loved it, and it wasn't pressure on me until I got a little bit older. And right now I feel like the young athletes today are feeling way too much pressure at a really, really young age.
I agree. I think you should play multiple sports. I myself played multiple sports, and you want to make fun of me, I was a dancer as well growing up.
That's why you want to be the backup dancer for Beyonce.
That's where my dreams were started. And so but honestly though, I think it made me more balanced, and I always encourage young ladies just to play multiple things and learn different sports. And then on top of that, my favorite thing to say is like just learning basketball, and like once you get to college, you go to a basketball game, you understand the rules, you know what's going on, and just being around different sports, I just think it enhances you and develops you all around.
Is there a specific second sport that you would encourage the girls to play, or just anything to stay in shape in the off season? Or
I think for me, it's just whatever they're passionate about. I have a young daughter. She's 6. Yes, she's young. I have yet to put her in a structured league. And the reason for that is because I'm trying to protect her from what that entails. I just want her to go out and play and have fun. And if it's let's go hit tennis balls one day and let's go hit golf balls the next day, or go hit, kick around soccer balls, then that is what it is. But I feel like putting them in that structured environment where that pressure is on too young is just, they'll end up getting burned out before they even get into college.
Yeah, and I think it's so important too, just to like have a young person naturally gravitate towards what they love. And I think by exposing them to different things, and yeah, it doesn't necessarily be another complement sport, but definitely, I couldn't agree more, Levy. Like, I don't have kids yet, but I just would love if I had a kid or had to make that decision, but let them naturally gravitate towards what they're passionate about.
But what's so hard about being a parent is you want to entice them with playing and being a part of a team and athletics, but then you don't want to push them so where do you find the balance? And if anyone out there has that answer, please let me know, because I struggle every day. I want her to know that she has to do things when she commits and she wants to say, yes, I want to do karate coming up, then you're going to do karate, even though one day you might not want to do it. But it's a tough balance as a parent, and I get it now, which I didn't get before, I had kids.
So I see Faremo icing up her arm. So what is the worst injury that you guys have experienced on the diamond, or even dancing or any other sport? Because I see the ice, and that's what...
Oh, gosh.
Honestly, going through travel ball, if you'll probably agree, I didn't really play I felt like we played a lot of games, but now hearing the schedule that these young athletes have before they even get into college absolutely blows my mind, and I might get slaughtered for that. But you know what? I didn't play that schedule before I got into college, so I was very lucky, and I had no injuries when I retired. And I also had a strength coach that I adored and I paid to kill me every single day. But I was very, very lucky, and I had 0 injuries. I might have been sore and tired and icing and getting massages all the time, and just seeing our trainer on a daily basis, especially as I got older and progressed through my career. But I was very, very lucky.
Yeah, I think the worst injuries I've seen are knee injuries or definitely, I mean, obviously in our game, shoulder injuries are really common. But I agree with Lovey, and definitely very fortunate. I didn't experience it until like later in my career, but I'm going to blame that on age. But
I say that too. My back.
yeah. But I think just, you know, the amount of games young athletes are playing, that makes it tough and it makes them more prone to injury for sure.
So when we first came on the national scene, we weren't necessarily on the Olympic team, but we had a handful of women who were veterans, who had a couple of years or maybe even 10 years underneath their belt of international experience and going to the Olympics in '96 and 2000. What did you learn, like once we got immersed onto the USA team? What did you learn from those athletes? I mean, Lisa Fernandez obviously being one that comes to mind. So you also had Laura Berg and Leah Bryan Amico and Granger and Michelle Smith. There were so many to choose from.
The first thing that comes to mind is preparation, 100%. I mean, I think, you know, growing up, being talented or whatever you want to say, you know, I think definitely the immaturity of relying on talent when I was younger, but then seeing someone like Elisa Fernandez and everybody that you named who were all talented, but their preparation to make them go to that next level was definitely something that I think we always talk about Lisa, you know, preparing for Athens, and she knew that it was going to be hot, and so she would wear extra layers during training just to make sure that she could simulate what that would be like. And like, wow, seeing someone of her talent, like, did she need to do that? She probably would be just as successful had she not, but being able to prepare for all the elements, I think for sure, and seeing all of these amazing women who were just so just talented and being able to see them put in that extra time and work and seeing them try to take their games to that next level.
And I remember a time in Italy. Remember the track?
Yeah.
In Italy?
Yes, I remember the track.
It rained. It was crazy. We got killed. But I just remember you and I mean, everybody was running, all the fielders, because the pitchers were doing their own workout and what have you. But I remember running and getting beat by Leah and Bergie and being like, I need to step my game up because these ladies have been around and Bergie's going to kill me right now. But they're older than us. I was like, oh my gosh.
I know.
What am I doing?
Right. And that's when, like, youth-wise, talent-wise, and the shape that our bodies were in, we probably should have beat them. But I think it's the mental toughness that they had. I mean, they were so dedicated and driven, and I think we were so lucky to have veterans like them to walk into the USA team and, like, they literally were like, this is how it's supposed to be, and this is how we compete, and this is how we show up. And I think I feel like we were just so lucky to be able to have that.
And then we also, you know, had Lori Harrigan. We called her the mom of our team. I mean, this is like all the behind-the-scenes stuff. But Lori was amazing with her people skills. She'd bring two people with different backgrounds and different perspectives and get them to agree on something without them even knowing what they're agreeing on or what they even were arguing about in the first place. So it's so important to have talent with Lori's pitching and also somebody who can do that for a team, because you are with each other 24/7, and it's like having 17 other sisters on a team that you're going to bicker and you're going to argue with, but at the end of the day, what is our goal and what's our mission?
Was that hard socially on the road? You just mentioned that, like the bickering. Did it ever feel like that it was going to ruin the chemistry of the team?
I think it didn't happen often, but it was more of like disagreements, and you're going to get that on any team, and especially on a very competitive team. I mean, yesterday we were talking about how competitive some of just our like card games, or we would play pickup basketball. I mean, I was getting checked by Lisa. I'm like, whoa. I thought we were just playing a game, but I was getting checked by Lisa because she wanted to win. But it was, at the end of the day, everyone knew what our goal was and what our mission was. And our goal was to win a gold medal, but our mission as a team was to be an ambassador for the game throughout the world. And that nothing would stand in the way of that mission and that goal.
You talk about gold medals, and we certainly have a gold medal crew that have helped us out at this Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. And I want to give a shout out to all the people behind the scenes. Producer Travis Peter, Brad Gross, the camera operating crew, which they've so helped us out. Savannah, Sean, Mark, Tyler, Jason, and Chris. Some of those angles on the replay, that's amazing. Audio engineers, Gray. We also have replay, Brian. The remote producer, LJ and Sarah. Around the diamond producers, which if you haven't checked out, you have to check out. It is a great way to watch a lot of softball. And I don't know if it'll work if you have AOL to be able to watch 4 screens at the same time. But nowadays, I think that would be an excellent way to watch all these games. So Jane and Tyler, thank you. And our announcer, Brandon, thank you very much. We've had a wonderful time here at the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. It's a great tournament here, and don't get me wrong, it's going to go, this is probably, I would say, the best tournament preseason before the College World Series.
We're really excited to see these young ladies compete at the highest level in their careers, and it's going to be, coming out and grinding it out, and UCLA having the 2 close games and the extra inning games with Wisconsin and Florida. That's what it's all about, and they're going to take that and just roll into their conference with all the confidence in the world, especially with this electrifying offense that they have.
By the way, Julie Rodriguez has come into the game, number 5 for the Bruins. Probably the 4th starter of the team, and you can hear the people around the stadium, just how many passionate UCLA fans there are around here.
Well, they got here early. They were here probably 2 hours before the first game. I know we talked about there were people who were here an hour and a half and couldn't find seats.
Julie Rodriguez, I mentioned this the last time we saw them play. She came all the way from New Jersey to join this UCLA program, and it says in her bio she broke every school record for pitching and at the plate. So not just 1, not just 2, not just a couple categories, all records.
And this is the excitement right here. You can hear how excited the UCLA fans and her teammates in the dugout are for her. She probably doesn't pitch very often for UCLA, but she's in there right now, and she's going to compete her heart out against this team. And like I said before, when I played against the USA team with the Smitties and Lisa Fernandez, I was just so excited to foul the ball off or even stand, up to plate against some of the best pitchers in the world.
Another defensive change for UCLA in right field now is number 23, Aaliyah Jordan.
Now, and Tosh, was there anything in your career along the way where, I don't want to call them failures, but more or less setbacks that you remember, and that is what drove you to either find a way, get better, or whatever it was?
Absolutely. I think you kind of touched on it earlier, too. Not making teams. I didn't make the junior team. That was my first opportunity to wear USA across my chest. It's awesome.
Oh, she's so excited to get that out. How exciting for UCLA right there.
Look at them come and meet her right there on the baseline. Great catch up against the wall. Look at that.
She's smiling from ear to ear right here. All her teammates are so excited for her. Way to come in and shut the door on USA Softball.
So they're going to need a lot of base runners to get into this game, but my goodness, what an experience for the UCLA Bruins. The score right now heading to the bottom of the 7th inning, 9-3. And welcome back to FloSoftball's broadcast of the Mary Nutter Collegiate Classic. Check out this last play of the inning.
Right here, and how excited Julie Rodriguez was when Wiz made that out over there at first base. That has to be exciting. Do you remember, did you ever play against the USA national team?
I did not. No, but even just seeing how she was out there and being able to have that opportunity to just put your best stuff with the best team in the world right now, and I think just being able to have the opportunity to compete, that was really fun to watch.
And that just pumps you up. That gets me so excited when someone has that passion for the game and is competing against the national team on this stage.
Look in the crowd, look in the dugout. Look at that smile. That is awesome.
And then she's going to be able to come up and get in a bat against Monica Abbott, probably the best pitcher in the world right now.
Swung on a miss, strike 3 there. You know, we had mentioned before that Abbott played a very good Oklahoma State team and threw a no-hitter against them.
And Monica's tough to hit. Monica has, like I said, there are pitchers and then there are great pitchers who only have 2, 3, maybe 4 pitches. But what makes their 2 or 3 pitches so great is that they work so hard on spotting and location of those pitches. I used to remember just in awe throughout my entire career watching Lisa Fernandez throw a bullpen and how her attention to detail was spot on, and we all learned from it as younger players. And I'm sure, you know, Jenny Finch and Kat Osterman, even Monica when she played on the 08 team. I mean, those bullpens were amazing. She would be out there for hours.
Well, even in our 2004 year, she learned a new pitch. Like, she's, 31 at the time, learning new pitches? Like, who does that?
And you're already the best in the world. I mean, you're considered the GOAT for a reason, and you're taking it upon yourself to learn something else. And that just shows you the kind of competitor Lisa is.
There's a strike, 0-1 to Julie Rodriguez.
So are you going to be able to go to the Olympics this year?
Yes, I am so excited, and I know we've been talking about it, but I cannot wait to just be there and be a spectator, and just to be in that atmosphere, obviously see these young ladies compete, but I just want to be there and just be able to support. I've already told the team I'm going to be there, and you're going to do this too. I've already signed you up, but we're going to be in face paint, and we're going to have face paint.
Oh,
we're going to have the flags on our face. We're going to have the flags wrapped around us. Like, I just can't wait to just be a spectator and just be able to cheer them on.
And certainly dancing in the crowd too, right?
Well, I'm going to be leading all the cheers as a dancer and making sure everybody knows the routines.
So excited for Rodriguez right there. What a performance, coming out and shutting down USA Softball offensively and then getting a hit off of Monica Abbott. How excited is she? And that is the first hit Monica Abbott gives up in the game is to Julie Rodriguez. They should give that ball to her so she can frame it in her room.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And not just that ball, the strikeout ball as well.
100%. I think it's just, coming in here, that is just, I hope the young athletes are watching Julie Rodriguez, because it's like, you know what? I'm just going to go out here. I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to compete. And bottom line, have fun. And, I think that's what it's all about, just seeing her have fun and just enjoy going against the best pitcher in the whole entire world.
Well, when this team, the USA team, gets to Tokyo, they're going to get there a week or so early, start training, get acclimated to the time change. I remember just when we would fly to Japan or anywhere else across the country, I would try to figure out what time it was there to what time it was where I was at, and try to get my sleep schedule on that time prior to getting on a plane to go there. So when I got there, at least I wasn't dead tired in the middle of the day playing in Japan or Italy or even Canada. But I just remember one of the things that we decided as an 04 team to the Olympics was that we were not going to go to opening ceremonies. And I believe that's what they are going to do as well, because their goal is to win the gold medal. And we wish them all the best on their journey, and the stand beside